Hey guys, Jola Pypno-Crapanzano here. Welcome to the coaching series, video series, Coaching Journey with Jola. And my very special guest today, Mirav Tarkka from Southern Italy with Love. Hi Mirav, how are
You
you?
said it perfectly.
Yes. So, guys, this is a very special guest. I always have special guests on my show, but today this person is closer to my heart than I can explain, and for so many reasons. But we get to this in a minute. First, I would like to introduce you, Mirav, because there's so many things there are right behind her name as a description that you need to know about. So first of all, Mirav is a power coach and a book coach. She is a founder and CEO of Pepper Coaching. What a wonderful name for a coaching company, isn't it? Mirav is a mommy of two amazing daughters. She has a 17 years of experience in training people in self-defense. She actually invented international self-defense program, which let her to talk about to us later on. She's also international best-selling author of a book, Undefeatable. And this woman has so many incredible stories that I'm speechless. I am in the middle of reading her book right now. And I have to tell you, if you were ever feeling in your life that shit hit the fan and you don't know what to do with yourself, read that book and you'll know. There's just no problems, no obstacles that you cannot overcome. She is a living proof. Mirav, welcome, my darling. How are you?
I'm good, good. It's 15 past 9 here in Italy. Girls are sleeping. This is my sacred time. I'm happy to
That's
share
right.
it.
And so one other addition to this intro, and this is the part that I call so very special and close to my heart. So guys, as you already know, follow me on social media for a while. I've been talking like a crazy person lately about something that's happening literally in last 2 months. So Mirav invited me to a project called the TV show. She's also a founder of that online TV show. And one day she was just taking a quick shower and came up with a brilliant idea. So why not to just extend the project and create the book? Guys, that was less than 2 months ago. And just look behind her and look behind me. We both have this baby the book project of 22 amazing brains that we created within literally less than 2 months. I mean, this is unbelievable. That thing is launching in in 2 days on Amazon. We are already called the best new release on so many categories in like 3 countries. I mean, like, this is crazy. So this is all because of this
Just
phenomenal
started. Gonna get crazier.
it's gonna get crazier. So that's why I'm actually happy we're doing this today when we still have kind of like sanity, right? Because by Tuesday we'll be like, whoa, champagne popping all over the place. Anyhow, Mira, where do we start? Okay, I always ask my guests this question as a first one. What was the first time in your life that you knew that you have this in you, that you want to help other people, that there is something bigger than yourself?
Okay, so there was one moment that I remember that was very strong. Um, so what happened was this. I don't know if you got to that part in my book yet, but there was this woman called Miriam when I was living in Israel, and she was one of my human angels. And it was a time where I was in the middle of a very, very abusive relationship. And my parents just threw me out of the house. I don't have my editor with me, so I think in Hebrew and I talk in English, and it all gets mixed up. So I had no house. I was literally in the streets looking for someone to love me, and there were many times that I had no food. And I don't remember if it was when the war started or when the war was about to start. And I was hungry most of the time. I was working a lot of very disgusting jobs, cleaning toilets, and I didn't have a car, so I was all the time on the bicycle, running from one job to another, trying to make it through the day. And then there was this woman, Miriam, and she was everything that I wished my mother was. She still is. She's still alive, and I hope she will live for a very long time. She was a woman that came from a very difficult background, and she had 4 children. She was a single mom, and very poor. And no matter what, every evening I would go to her on my bicycle after the whole day, and I would cry and tell her everything that has happened, and I would be hungry because I had no food. And she was very, very poor, and had all her problems. Yet when I came, she just put it all aside and just listened to me and hugged me. And we would watch these really silly Spanish telenovelas together, and she would make me her coffee, which I will never forget. And she would even give me sometimes the last plate of food she had in the home. And I remember looking at her and feeling so much gratitude in my heart. I couldn't give much back at the time, but I swore two things. One, that I will give her back when I can, as much as I can. And two, that one day I will be in the shoes of helping someone that is just like me in that time. Someone who wants more from life, someone who doesn't want to give up, someone who's had a one shitstorm after another. And I mean, thanks to her, I'm alive today in many ways. And I hope that no one will have to go through what I went through. And I know that some people do. I wish to be, when I grow up, someone who is able to help many people that was like me, that were like me, that are like me, and that need that, that hand and that hug and that,
Such a
reassurance.
such a heartwarming story, my goodness. And since you already started getting a little bit into your story, we really need to give my viewers a little bit more of a perspective how unbelievably complicated and tragic situations happen in your life. Like the fact that you were in the war where the bombs were like freaking exploding around you, the stuff that you were almost raped and almost kidnapped and all that stuff. Please give us it's obviously hard to say in few minutes the whole life story, but give some of these unbelievable coincidences that created that amazing person, and so giving and loving and actually so contained and looked happy. Like honestly, like you exuded this amazing positive energy that everybody wants to be around. So please tell us a little bit about your story.
That's a huge compliment, by the way, and I worked hard to get to this place because I wasn't like this. When I was living the moments that you read in the book, I was completely different. I was unrecognizable because, and today, years later, I see all the things that I made the wrong choices and I trusted the wrong people. I didn't do it out of any, bad intentions, of course, but there's a point in your life that it's not blame, it's taking full responsibility for your choices. So it wasn't my fault that I was almost raped, but it was my fault that I didn't choose better before that, not fault, like responsibility. And the minute I started taking full responsibility for my life has changed. And that moment that I realized that I must, you know, take that full responsibility because there is no other choice was when I became a mother. And some people that when they read my book, I got very good feedbacks like yours. I didn't write my book to sell hundreds of it or even to help hundreds of people. I wrote my book because I had to get my voice out because I felt that I was silenced all my life. And when I finished the book, when I wrote the words "the end," I was crying because it all came out, and it was huge healing for me. And some people have found the book very hard to read and negative, and that is not the point. The point is that there is always a choice, and you have to be in a certain place in your life, in a certain vibe, in a certain wisdom to understand that you can take that choice. You can choose not to be with that person. You can understand that no matter what, you deserve to be loved, you deserve more. You can always walk away from a situation. I went through the war and I decided to stay through the war because I wanted to prove that I'm this strong person that can survive everything. But it wasn't that worth it because yeah, I got a book out of it, but I still have PTSD. I still shiver every time I hear the door bang or when I see fireworks. I hate fireworks. So a bit about my story. It's really a lot, but I was born in Israel 39 years ago, and my father comes from Finland. My mother is Israeli. They both came from a very difficult backgrounds of being unloved and unappreciated, and they found each other and they made me and my brother. And we were a very close family. We didn't have grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, and no close friends. So it was just us, and it was a very close cycle. And there was a time in my life that I wanted to get out of that cycle. I wanted to explore who I was. My father was born Catholic, but he decided to be an atheist, and my mother was Jewish. But together, no one knew what they were.
Yeah.
And I was living in Israel, which is a Jewish country, and all my friends had all these religious things and the school and everything. And I felt very confused,
Disconnected.
and I had no one. Sorry?
As a disconnected from all of this, right? You didn't know where you belonged.
Yeah, because, we had a Christmas tree at home, but no one spoke of Jesus. And then we had the candles of Hanukkah at home, but nobody spoke about that either. So all this confusion with my identity, whether it was religious, and then there were so many other things because my father's job was different from other fathers' jobs. He was working in the UN and he was all the time away, and he went through really, really difficult experiences. He was once kidnapped by the Hezbollah, which is a terror organization, and he stayed in Angola for 2 years. So as a child, I knew that I was different. Spoke English at home, but I didn't know where I belonged, and I never really belonged anywhere. I was very, very smart. I didn't even have to go to school. All my exams was 100. I could teach the teachers. For my evenings, I would just read books. I would read a book a day. Daniel Steele, Dean Koontz, all the languages that I could find, all the books that I could find. I had 5, 6 books every day near my bed.
And
I loved.
therefore you studied psychology, criminology, and physical education in college because you are just like this universal child,
I really loved. I loved going to school. I loved learning. I loved going. I would think, I'm going and I'm coming back wiser every time. I won loads of competitions. I was brilliant. And my parents learned to appreciate me by that brilliance, but my other qualities weren't out there, and I had other qualities. And school was so easy for me, but social life wasn't. I had only one friend all the school. I tried smoking to look cool, but that didn't work. And I tried listening to heavy rock and going like with, the can openers of Heineken. I would put them
Yeah.
to look cool. And yeah, I wore my jeans upside down and I ripped it. And then there was a time that I was trying to look extra slutty to get attention, but I didn't belong anywhere. And then there was a time that I started gaining weight because I turned 14, and my mother told me that it's not nice that I'm gaining too much weight. And I was after school I would always find something interesting to do. So at that time I was volunteering in the ambulance services of Israel, and I started eating a lot and gaining a lot of weight. And then I got criticized about that at home. My brother was very, very thin, and so he could eat as much as he wanted, and he still stayed very thin. And I would eat an apple more, and I would gain weight. So I started resenting, him and the fact that he gets to eat all the chocolate, and I have to watch my weight and so on. And that led to bulimia. So I started vomiting everything that I ate every day, and that took
for
off
5 years, correct? 5 years of that.
5
That's
years.
crazy. Crazy.
It's really horrible because it's a roller coaster. The first time is nothing and it's so easy, and the second time is easier, and you can eat whatever you want and you stay in the same weight. But then it takes over you because that's all you think about. So I had no social life, and I had no, for the outside, I looked perfect, perfect grades, good girl. I had no boyfriend. I had no real friends, but I was okay. But inside, I was rotting.
Mm,
I was hating myself. I was looking at the mirror and hating how I looked and how sick I am in my head,
mm,
that I need to go and to vomit everything that I'm eating. And I would go and I would buy food with my allowance and hide it under my bed and eat it when everybody's sleeping and vomit the whole day. And no one noticed. No one noticed. And that, I think that was what made me sicker.
yes, yes,
Um, it wasn't, it was it was really a lot of self-hatred went there, but I only see it now because I used to um, like pluck my hair and pluck my eyebrows, and I just I didn't see it because I thought I was just trying to be like all the other girls, but it wasn't. It was about uh, auto-inflicting damage.
yeah.
Someone would tell me, "You are okay just the way you are, and I love you just the way
Yeah,
you are."
yeah. How were
Even
you able to break away from that? How were you able to stop that vicious cycle of self-destroying yourself? Like, how were you able to walk away from this bulimia thing?
As much as it was a long mental voyage, it happened in 1 minute, in 1 second. It was just a decision, and that's how I
Yeah.
understood the power of my willpower and the power of decision. One day I vomited blood, and it scared the shit out of me. And so I went to the local library, knowing that I cannot go to any doctor without my mother finding out, and so on. So I just sat there with a bunch of medical books. I read everything, and everything said that I cannot heal from it without psychiatric medicine. And I'm like, I'm going to prove them wrong. I looked at myself in the mirror. I remember that moment and I said, I am never, ever going to vomit again, unless there is an emergency or something. And I never did. And I said to myself, I accept myself, even if I gain 10 kilos, even if I look like shit. It's just temporary, and I need to do this because it's not healthy for me. And so that's it. I never vomited again, and I started learning about food and about exercise as much as I could, and loving it and loving my body. And I don't have any problem with food today. I don't have any problem with exercise today. But years later, when I did my university thesis, I wrote all about it. I wrote my story, and I spoke about it openly because I wanted to help others. And I only then realized how dangerous was the situation that I was in.
Yeah, yeah, and then bring us also through your traumatic, experiences during the war, and then we're gonna go to some positive and happy times, from the current times when you are such a rock and roll and such an amazing force power in your current life. So tell me, how did you survive being a sergeant in the Israeli army? How was that experience?
That wasn't that difficult. I mean, it was fun. Um, at the beginning, okay, so every military wants to break you so they can make you.
Yeah,
And they take away everything out of your identity so they can make you a military identity. So you don't have a name, you don't have your own clothes, you cannot wear nail polish, you cannot wear earrings, all of that. So that part was difficult for me in some ways because I was just starting to create my identity. But on the other way, I was already used to not having really my identity. The hard part for me was to be so away from home where everything was really, really comfortable, suffocating, but comfortable. Um, the experiences were for me fascinating. I love adrenaline. And at the time, I was also doing Muay Thai, which is a Thai box, and it was amazing for me. It was difficult for me not to attend the training as I wanted. It was difficult for me not to be able to choose what I wanted to do. But in the same way, I started living my freedom. As much as the military was, you have to do this, you have to do that, you also have times that you can do whatever you want and nobody can say anything to you. When you have your time off, and I met a lot of people, and all of a sudden I was sneaking out of the base to go to parties and things like that. I could never do that when I was living with my parents because they would ask, where are you going, where are you dressed, la 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 la. And here all of a sudden I'm sneaking out. I would wear my nice clothes under the uniforms and go out with a rifle and pretend it's a yeah, it was fun. I just, I gathered my vacations from the military, and I would just go 1 month of food party. And Israel is very kind with soldiers, so you don't have to pay for transportation, you don't have to pay for food. So wherever I went, I went in for free. I went to 5-star hotels. I ate what I wanted, and I went to so many parties, and that was fun. On the combat aspect, I was placed as operational sergeant, and that's a combat job for women, but it's not really combat because you're literally a secretary. Just you do it all night long and all day long, listening to the machines, understanding what's going on in the field, and reporting it. So it was not physical, and I wanted something physical. I wanted to go out there and shoot bad people and all of that. And there was no opening for me. But one day, something happened in the base, and my commander grabbed my bum, and I was very, very happy because I told him, "Okay, you made a huge mistake, so I can not report it if you send me to do this amazing Krav Maga course, self-defense course in the
Oh my
Wing."
God.
I was very clever. And of course, he didn't want me to report anything. So I went to Wingate Institute, which is the best institute in the world for military fighting. And they put me into this Krav Maga course. And until then, I only did Muay Thai, which is it's a martial art, but it's nothing like Krav Maga. Krav Maga is there's no rules. It's not nice. It's a great, like the first session that we had, there was this big commander, military, very ugly and stinky guy. And he said, "How many are you? You're 17. Okay, I need 16. He asked one guy to come to him, and he punched him in the face. So he broke his nose. So we were 16.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're
And we
kidding
were
me.
all like, oh God. Okay. So then the whole training was aggressiveness, aggressiveness, aggressiveness.
But with the boxing gloves or no?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And there were training guns, and there were some techniques, but they focused a lot on aggressivity. And one of the exams was you had this mountain that was 90 degrees, like literally like this, all with sand. So you soak when you go there, and you have all your military clothes on you, and water, and your rifle, and everything. And sometimes you have like a sick friend on your shoulders, and you have to go all the way up the mountain with a sinking sand, 90 degrees, and it's outside 45, 46 degrees. And while you are going up, terrorists are attacking you from all sides. And you have to defend yourself, you have to defend your partner, you have to fight, you have to disarm, you have to do that, and then you have to go all the way down like that. You have to do that 3 times, or you don't pass the course. And if you don't pass the course, you don't go home. And I was only 18. And I never had that before, and I loved it. I loved it so much. They would wake us up. You get only 2 hours to sleep. They would wake us up in the middle of those 2 hours with cold water on our faces, telling us that you have to go outside, and and there are bombs and everything. And then in the time that you are not training, you have to clean shit out of toilets and go and do your duties in the kitchen and guard the whole base with a rifle. A girl alone with a rifle, 18 years old, freezing of cold, really defending her country. That was life altering for me.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
And I believe that's why you became such a strong, incredibly strong woman, that no matter what else happens in your life, you were able to kind of like go with it, because that training alone like prepared you amazingly, right? Like so many parents send their children to like a Girl Scouts or something like that to prepare them for some sort of obstacles. But that sort of like experience you had in the army is beyond any imagination. And I want to like really tell you how much I honor you for all that unbelievable service you did. So enough about your past. I know we could talk about it for another hour, 3 hours, 5 days, but we want to move on, because right now I invite people who are incredibly influential coaches who help others get their lives to the highest levels possible using their mindset, using different skills. And you created a pepper coaching. I want to ask you where the name comes from. Pepper coaching. What is this actually? This is a very intriguing name for me.
um, so when I opened my coaching business, I decided that I am closing my self-defense business because I want to help people in a different way. And I always noticed that most people live in some kind of like an autopilot. You know, they do their work, they go back home. There is no life there. People, and most people, when you look around you, at least from my experience, they don't really want anything more from life. You know, it's just
Yes,
like
as my mentor Brendan Bouchard says, there's like the energy of the world is flat right now. People don't show emotions. People don't feel, don't smell, they live like almost like in a la la land, right? I agree with you 100%.
I
Yeah.
call it autopilot, and I think this is good for people like us because we really stand out. I saw that, and when I started to train people, like really train hard, they changed completely. Their faces changed completely. Their energies changed completely. People who were single for a long time found their soulmate. People who women who couldn't get pregnant got pregnant. I mean, really amazing. I had a guy that I wrote about him in the one book, that he would always have his eyes down. He was so insecure and so shy, but in my training, he became an animal. He just, there was nothing that could stop him. And I was trying to teach him to remember that and to take it into his life and to take it into his work and everything. And that is what I call that pepper, that spice, that's something that wants you to go on fire so you can feel what life is all about. And in Israel,
I love it. I love it. You like talk my language, like in your own way, but this is exactly how I feel about life, about coaching. Like give just like people tell me sometimes, you're like a kid, you like enjoy, like you like show joy about everything. I was like, yeah, because I appreciate everything. I also grew up, maybe not in like some tremendous like poor country or anything like that, but I had my own, little difficult stories as a kid. And therefore I enjoy and appreciate everything so much, and I love when you say that, give that pepper to life, that spice, so make it more exciting. That's so
make everything tasty and
yeah.
sexy. That, for me, sexy is not someone who just strips her clothes off and says, come and have sex with me. That's not sexy for me. For me, sexy is a person that makes you want to go for what you want. That is sexy. A person who stimulates you, something that stimulates you, that's sexy. And in Israel, the word pepper is pilpel. And when someone says, it's a famous proverb to use on women, that, oh, that one has some pepper in her. It's like, that woman is hot, she's sassy, she knows what she wants and she goes for it. She's not an autopilot, that's just waiting for life happening to her. She is something that you want to taste. And there was this publicity in Israel that when I was creating my business, I constantly saw it in my mind, which was with now a famous actress, and she was wearing this very formal school uniform, with braids and everything, and looking all like that. And then there was this bell for the pause from the school, and as the bell rang, she ran out of the school and she like opened the uniform, and she had this swimsuit there, and she put her hair out, and she went into a car with no roof, and started driving to the beach, and they said, this is what it means to have some people in your life, some pepper in your life. Apart from the whole thing that is to sell the swimsuit and to be sexy, the part of it is that not to be that uniform, plain, 8 to 5, braids, not looking at anyone, Holy Mary, all of that, but explode and live your life the way that they're supposed to. And sometimes, yes, break the rules and give that feeling that life is supposed to be lived, no matter what you went through, trauma, drama, nothing. Life needs to be lived until we finish living it.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is what
So there's
I
no
actually,
regrets at the end, right? So at the end of it, when you look back, you don't have regrets, because it's better to try something and well, maybe you don't succeed, whatever. But then to have regret that you didn't try it is probably the worst regret ever. So
yeah.
therefore, I am again so much aligned with everything you're saying right now. And so the one thing that you trademarked in your coaching practice is this power of warrior. You call it as a powwow, right? Can you tell us
Yeah.
about that? Because that is so cute. I love that name. And just that the whole idea of it's so fascinating to me. The technique of activating the power. I let you talk about that.
Well, I believe that each one of us, even the autopilots, have that power of warrior inside them. Some people need to really be pushed to the corner in order to take it out of them. It's our will to survive. It's our will to do something with our. It's what leads us forward. Because in the end of the day, we need something inside of us that will push us forward. Our drive, our determination. And for me, my power of warrior is very strong because it had to work a lot in my life. I had very critical situations. For normal people, the power of warrior is not that strong, thank God, because they didn't have to pass what I went through. But also, some people are not aware of that. And the way to get aware of that without going into stressful situations that, get all the adrenaline out and the survival mode out is to train in a certain way that brings you out that adrenaline, and to train your mind in a certain way so you can use that power of warrior to do amazing things in your life. Like, that feeling that you are truly unstoppable, that the world is at your feet and you can do whatever you want. And I'm sure everybody has had that feeling at least once in their life. It can be, after you accomplished something that you really wanted, or you ran a marathon, or you gave birth, or you did something that was really meaningful for you, and you feel, I did this, then I can do everything. And we can do that. We can have that feeling every single moment, every single day of our life, if we keep our warrior inside of us alive and happy and nurtured, not just by stressful situations, but by physically stimulating situations and mentally stimulating situations. That stimulation is really important, because if our warrior goes to sleep, then if there is an emergency, it will be very difficult to dig it out. And also it will lead to that, boring life of not feeling unstoppable, not feeling that you can conquer everything, not being able to achieve your goals easily, not to go and grab what you want because that power is sleeping in you. So
Yeah.
this is what I call power of warrior, and I like how I made it pow, because it's like punching.
Yeah, yeah. You guys have to check out Mirav's social media. She has some sick photographs, man, with those boxing gloves. This woman is on fire. Like, this girl is on fire. It's like so cool, so cool. I love it. And I gotta be honest with you. I find that I truly believe that everything happens in life for a reason. Like I actually said that in my book, in that book as well, in my chapter, and everything that really, like all the synchronicities, like people appear for a reason. And honestly, 2 months ago, we didn't know each other, right? And all of a sudden, somehow you come up, you have a offer, you accept me, you invite me to this project. 2 months later, we have actual book published and being launched in 2 days, and you attracted
1.5 days. No,
oh,
1 day and 2 hours.
for you. Yeah, you're right. Listen, I gotta schedule like my calendar here. I have to set up some sort of alarm wake up call, because I'm like 6 hours behind you and I'm gonna missing 6 hours of the big party. But guess what, me and all the people on this side of the big pond, we will be celebrating a little bit longer, so no worries, we're gonna extend the party. And actually we have also someone in Australia, right? So they're gonna be like 12 hours ahead of the game also. So it's a fascinating thing.
International, yeah, it's gonna
Yes.
be
So
amazing.
guys, Mirav invited 20, over 20 people, 22 of us that wrote the chapters in this book from 15 different countries all over the world. It is unbelievable project. It's called a wellness guide to mind, body, and soul. But truly, I'm almost done with the book. I didn't finish it. I just got it. I broke the rules. We talked about breaking rules. I broke the rules, sort of. Got my hands on the printed copy, the author's copy earlier than I was supposed to, but I got it. And I have to say, I do not regret a second, because it was that moment that made my whole body tingle. I had goosebumps all over opening it with my, I'm like a one-handed bandit right now, being injured. I tried to open that envelope and get the book out. It's amazing feeling. And all the knowledge in that book is life-changing for sure. And the credit goes strictly to you for having that idea, putting the team together, and expediting the damn thing so fast that it is a real blossoming product right now available. So Mirav, tell me, because you said it once to us that it happened in the shower, like all your great ideas happen in the shower. So tell me,
Yeah.
how did you come up with the one project? So first the online TV show and then the book.
How did I come up with that? Well, although it was a one moment, it was an all on building process when I decided to open pepper coaching and close my self-defense, because I felt that the physical empowerment is not enough, but I still felt how important it is. And then I started building this course for people to empower themselves physically and mentally. And then I was thinking, I would really like to get to know more people that understand this importance. And since, in my social media program was to go live once a week and to give value, and I started writing down all the subjects I can talk about, I said, I'm not big enough to know how to talk about everything in the world. I need help. I want to learn from others, but I also want to give that stage to others. And I was in the shower singing my favorite song in the whole world, which is one of U2. One love, one life, one. And I was like, literally like ding, ding, ding. Okay.
We got something here.
We got something. So funny. I put the towel on. I went to my computer and I wrote, what was it? Needed collaborators for a project about mind and body, because I was like, okay, I'm just going to invite people every week to talk about how they feel there is a connection. And I know many people like that. My osteopath, my chiropractor, which is also in the book, Mike, James and Claire. I met him when I was in Ibiza. I did self-defense courses for them. And I was like, if I put all these people together, we can plan a TV show that every week someone else will talk and give value. And therefore, I will be giving value to the audience, and I will be introducing my idea that the mind and the body need to be trained together. And that was it. And then all of a sudden, I got like hundreds of messages back. I was like, oh, how can I answer everybody? Okay, I'm going to create a group and just, I would, I would just see through the group who fits that group, who not, and then I would just answer everybody over there. And then when we created the TV group, it was like 10 minutes after that, I was like, okay, please can everybody write me a few lines about what would you like to say in the show? And I was like, why don't we take all these few lines, expand it, and have a book? And it was like really a crazy idea. And I don't know if you remember, but I just wrote, crazy idea. What if do this?
Yeah.
And everybody,
it's like mind-blowing. I actually, this book has like few clear pages at the end, I guess, for notes. And I decided that I'm going to go back. I actually am doing it. I'm going back on a computer and I'm going to put the timeline for this book, because this is something as an example for anyone else because remember when you told us, literally, it takes 75 minutes to write a 10-page chapter. We could do it. We could do it within a week. So what is like 5 weeks is nothing. I mean, like it was, you were talking and we were like, okay, girl, like relax, chill. Will we get it done? 3 months. Is she really crazy? I heard these books people produce in years, obviously, but it was still.
Because they write, love and war and things like that. But books change you, and when you write a book, it really changes you. And also there is this momentum, I don't think that books should be written for years because they lose the momentum. Because okay, so for me, everything is in my self-defense world. So it's like a punch, and when you start the punch, you have all this energy to go and smash. And when you
Yeah,
finish the punch, the energy is there because you just smashed it. But all this time, it loses the energy.
yeah,
And we wanted the book to be energetic. We wanted it to be, I knew that it would take 2 weeks to fine tune that and to do that and to do that. So I said, okay, we are 20, it was 23 people, 22, I don't remember exactly because a few fell off on the way. But if each one writes a chapter in one day during these 2 weeks, and then we have 2 weeks to elaborate it, and one extra week, so that's the 5 weeks. This is what we need. I wrote my book in 26 days, and I was moving apartments and moving my children and going through a divorce and everything. And it was my getaway. When everybody's sleeping, I was there.
yeah,
I didn't want you guys to lose that energy, that drive. I didn't want you to start thinking too much. I just
yeah.
wanted you to write it and get it out there, and we did it.
And and I have to say, this is like one of the things right now that this is actually something I feel it's a great method for anything you do in life, not just book writing. If you have a plan and you follow that plan, right? Don't give it too much thinking. You just follow. Somebody already succeeded. Somebody already gave you the blueprint how to do it. Just do it. And
Yeah,
you,
agree.
yeah,
Progression, not perfection. I mean, when I need to clean the house, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I'm like, I'm gonna put a timer. I'm gonna put music. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. I'm gonna get it done in 2 hours. After 2 hours, whatever is not done, not done. I'm not thinking about
yeah,
it
yeah,
anymore.
because
It's that
perfection
strong.
doesn't exist. It's better to do something and then fix it than not to do it ever because it's never perfect. So that's as simple as that. And so I am beyond freaking pumped that this thing is happening. We are, like I said, already called the number one release new
Hot new release
on
in all
Amazon.
Amazon
We got
platforms.
some countries like Germany and Netherlands. We were not even launched officially yet, and these countries are
No,
listing us on like number one and two or three or whatever in different categories. It is mind blowing. Like it
and
literally,
in a very special category also. The last category that we got the hot new release, alternative healing.
yeah,
That's amazing. That's all what we're writing about. And we have our champagne bottles coming up. We
yes.
we have
That's so awesome. I'm still waiting for my sticker. I hope we get 2 more days that this thing arrives on time. But if not, I'll print my own. It's not a biggie. It's not a
uh,
biggie. I know how to print. So I'll print my own sticker if it doesn't come on time. But I will, couple bottles are chilling in a cooler for that special occasion. So I cannot wait. Mirav, I want to thank you so very much for taking time to be my guest today, for being part of my life. Like you say, you call us your family. I truly tell you, you are part of my family. You're my little sissy in Italy now. And honestly, I feel like no matter what happens after that, if we're going to continue with any other projects together or not, you are always will have that very, very, very warm spot in my heart forever. And I hope this is not the end. And I would love to tell you that if I know you have a big launching party in Monte Carlo coming up right a week or so after our virtual launch, and
yeah.
there will be another party in New York City. If you
I wish
have
I could come.
opportunity to
I wish
show
I could
up
come
in
to
May,
your party.
if you want, I know you'll be in Miami in April, I believe, right? If you could somehow, are you coming to Miami in April now? Well,
Never
I
been to the States
misunderstood. Well, anyway,
ever.
if there is any magical thing that can happen, you could show up, be my guest in May. I'd love to have you, and we could make some magic on this side of the big pond. So I want to
We
thank you. But before I let you go and just rest after your long day, please give people your social media handles and your website, that if anyone is interested to learn more, not just about you as a person, it's a fascinating story, like I said, but more of that, the way you help people with your power of warrior and all these activation meditations and whatnot. Where can they find you?
Well, right now the best place to find me is on Facebook. My website is under construction. It has been under construction for a very long time because I'm really not, I don't have the patience for it, to be honest. So if anyone has a patience for a website, I'm your client. Uh, Facebook is the easiest way. And, you know, through the book, through one, you can get the Power Warrior meditation for free. It's one of our amazing gifts. The book has gifts in the value of 4,500 euros. And you can get it for 99 cents. So here, a short promo of our book.
Yeah, I
But
actually forgot. Thank you for reminding me. How silly of me. See, I'm still in that promoting you. I'm not thinking even about our pro. Yeah, this is amazing. Oh my God, here you go. So excited. So yeah, guys, with that book, there will be actually each author gifted a very special present. It's either a coaching session for free, or it's a course, or it's a meditation, or so many things. Like the value of the gifts alone, it's crazy, and it's all included with the purchase. So you can either get that Kindle version for 99 cents or a paperback for for 20 bucks.
or both,
Yeah.
or get it
So
as
anyway, who's counting, right? This is invaluable. Invaluable.
a gift with a book for all the people that you love, because this is the gift of wellness. It's better than giving a gym membership. And there's a Women International Day coming up, and summer is coming up, and you
Yeah.
know, a book is really, really a good gift. But a book
You
like
know,
this,
yeah, I feel it's because all of authors handpicked topic that they felt can mostly benefit the reader, right? So it's
I'm
like if
passionate
each
about. Yeah.
person had to go to 22 different, let's say, books, or 22 different fields of expertise, they have now like a pill from each, like a magic pill from each author, and it's in that book. Like it's amazing. Like it's like a miniature version of everything everybody knows. This is phenomenal. I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, and
So
I know some of the authors really personally, and I've had a few sessions with a few of the authors, like therapy sessions, and I can tell you from experience, not just because this is our book, that the people who are writing in this book are really top of the world's game, top of the mountain. I don't think anyone has ever done anything like that before. This is really a unique project, and it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's 99 cents, so there's no thinking here. Even if you are someone like me, I love paperbacks. I love to have my notes inside, and to have
just touch the smell of the book,
highlight
right?
my book.
Yeah.
So definitely get the book, and you can see there. You can get through the book my meditation for free. It's just my meditation is a value of 150 euros. Get that warrior out of you. You can find me on social media. No website for now, but maybe later when I am a little bit less busy. Yeah, I really believe that we are making the world a better place, and I believe that
100%. Yes. Yes.
the story that we started the interview with, that you asked me what was the moment. I'm pretty sure that Miriam is super proud of me now. And if that book wasn't from all of us, if it was personal, I would dedicate it to her, because this is a kind of like ending a cycle. Like, here I am helping others with others to make the world a better place, to make people healthier and feel better, because the world as a better place starts from the individuals. And the better you feel, the happier you are, and the better is the value that you give to the world, the greater it is, and further relationships. And it's just, it's like throwing a little stone into the sea and having that circles going around. This is what we're doing, and we're doing it like all over the world. So I just
Super excited. Super excited. If if Miriam speaks English, you can send her a copy with a personal dedication. If she doesn't, just translate this damn chapter for her and send it to her with a big red kiss. And that's a surprise that you guys find inside the book, which we're not going to talk about. That's a surprise. Anyhow, Miriam, thank you. I'm sorry. Miriam, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate every second you spend with me, and I love you into pieces. Thank you for everything. Ciao.
I love you too, and it was my pleasure.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.